I watched it about a dozen times last night and again this morning. And I have to say, I'm just not comfortable with Patrick Reed's behavior around the ball. Patrick Reed lived every golfer's dream. He won the Masters, earned millions, became a Ryder Cup hero. And yet, somehow, he became one of the most disliked figures in golf. Fans don't just watch him stumble, they actually cheer when he does. How does a green jacket winner reach a point where the world seems to root against him? The truth isn't in one mistake. It's in a pattern that built up over time. Family drama, college tension, rule controversies that seemed to always go in his favor, and career choices that took him from divisive to infamous. This is the wild story of Patrick Reed. Patrick Nathaniel Reed was born on August 5, 1990, in San Antonio, Texas, and grew up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His parents were supportive, but serious, especially his dad, who pushed his golf hard from the start. From a young age, Reed wasn't just talented. He was a threat on the course. Between 2005 and 2007 at university, high school in Baton Rouge, Reed led his team to back-to-back state championships. He earned top honors as a state medalist, became a Rolex AJ All-American, and snagged a major junior title at the 2006 Junior Open Championship. His sharp edge and competitive drive made him stand out fast. That same intensity followed him into college, but that's when things got messy. Reed started his college career at the University of Georgia with all the hype of a future golf superstar. On paper, he looked perfect for a powerhouse program. But just a year later, he was dismissed from the team. Rumors began to swirl. Officially, the details remain unclear. Some teammates accused him of breaking team rules and causing tension. Reports suggested sketchy behavior during qualifying rounds, but nothing was ever proven. Reed has always defended himself, saying it wasn't about cheating, just alcohol-related rules that got him kicked off the team. Whatever the truth, the controversy stuck, marking the first chapter in the legendary storm that followed Patrick Reed. Georgia moved on. But Reed's story didn't end there. He transferred to Augusta State University and, in a twist no one saw coming, became the heart and soul of their team. He led Augusta State to 2 national championships, proving his skills on the course were undeniable. Still, the shadow of Georgia followed him everywhere. Once a name gets tied to words like cheating or trouble, people remember even without proof. By the time Reed turned pro in 2011, a new storm was already brewing in this time. It wasn't on the course, it was at home in his early 20s. Reed made a deeply personal decision to distance himself from his parents and sister. When he got married, his family wasn't invited to a move that caught everyone's attention. During the 2014 U.S. Open, things got even more tense. His parents and sister, reportedly, came to watch using a friend's tickets but were escorted off the grounds after his wife Justine allegedly asked officials to remove them, even when Reed captured the biggest win of his life, the 2018 Masters. Family wasn't part of the celebration. Reports say they weren't just absent, they weren't even allowed through the gates at Augusta National. No one outside the family knows every detail, but moments like these have helped shape the reputation that follows Patrick Reed to this day from the outside looking in. Reed's story felt even more complicated. But while his personal life kept making headlines, his golf game just kept getting stronger. He climbed the world rankings fast, proving his talent was undeniable. Then he grabbed the mic and dropped one of the boldest statements in golf. He believed he was one of the top 5 players in the world. Big talk, especially for someone ranked 44th at the time. Some fans loved the confidence. Others called it arrogance. But Reed backed it up. PGA Tour wins started piling up, and he proved he could handle pressure like a true pro. And when it came to team golf, that's where he thrived. Patrick Reed transformed into a Ryder Cup beast, representing Team USA 3 times with unmatched fire and intensity. His energy, his reactions. His fearless shot-making earned him the nickname Captain America. Fans couldn't get enough of his passion. His peak moment came in 2016 at Hazeltine during that unforgettable duel with Rory McIlroy. The atmosphere was electric. Both players trading unbelievable shots, chest bumps and fist pumps like heavyweight fighters. Reed came out on top, sealing the match and proving himself as one of team. USA's deadliest players under pressure. Then came 2018, the year that felt like the summit for Patrick Reed. He conquered Augusta, holding off big names like Ricky Fowler and Jordan Spieth to claim the green jacket at the Masters. His first-hand so far, only major victory. The moment where everything else faded away. No family controversies, no old college rumors, just Patrick Reed, Masters champion, standing atop the golf world. But the drama wasn't done. Later that year, at the Hero World Challenge, cameras caught Reed moving sand behind his ball. Not once, but twice. To fans, it looked like he was improving his clear violation of the rules. Reed defended himself, saying the camera angle made it look worse than it was. Still, the footage sparked outrage. Golf Channel analyst Brandel Chambly didn't hold back, calling it cheating, and social media erupted. Fans were furious, and other players spoke out. Cameron Smith said it best: "If you make a mistake, maybe once, you can understand. But to blame the camera angle? That's pushing it." That moment changed everything. What should have been a quiet off-season event turned into one of the biggest controversies of Reed's career, and his Captain America image became undeniably complicated. Old college rumors suddenly didn't sound so impossible anymore. Fast forward to 2021 at the Farmers Insurance Open. History seemed to repeat itself. Reed's ball landed deep in the rough, and he claimed it was embedded, taking relief before a rules official even checked. By the time the official arrived, Reed had already marked and picked up the ball. TV footage later revealed the ball had actually bounced, meaning it wasn't embedded. Technically, he hadn't broken a rule, but to fans, it looked like another gray area maneuver, connecting dots from past controversies into a picture they couldn't ignore. By 2022, Reed's battles went beyond the golf course. After joining Live Golf, he filed a $750 million defamation lawsuit against Golf Channel and analysts, including Brandel Chambly, claiming years of false, damaging statements intended to ruin his reputation. But the public reaction wasn't what he hoped for. Most saw it as a desperate attempt to repair an already free-falling image. And joining LIV Golf, arguably the sport's most divisive legacy, fueled the fire. Suddenly, Patrick Reed wasn't just a golfer. He was a lightning rod, a controversial champion, a legal combatant, a polarizing figure in modern golf. Drama, lawsuits, social media outrage, his story had it all, and the world couldn't stop watching. By 2023, Patrick Reed's name had become bigger than his game, and not always for the reasons he wanted. Every tournament he entered carried a heavy tension. Crowds weren't just watching his swing. They were watching him, waiting for the next headline-making moment, and Reed seemed to thrive on it. He walked into every event like a man with something to prove. LIV Golf had changed the entire landscape of the sport, and Reed was now one of its most recognizable faces. Competing for huge purses came with constant criticism from traditionalists who claimed Live had sold out golf's legacy. Reed didn't seem to care. He played with his signature fire, staring down cameras after clutch putts, as if daring the world to forget who he was. But the headlines never stopped chasing him. Early that year, at a Dubai tournament, Reed became the center of another viral moment. Reports claimed he tossed a tee in Rory McIlroy's direction on the range after Rory didn't respond to a greeting. The internet exploded. Some called it petty, others disrespectful. Reed's fans said it was classic, Reed confident, unbothered, and ready for drama. Reed brushed it off as a light-hearted gesture. Rory's silence, however, spoke louder than words. For golf fans, it was another example of Reed attracting conflict even when he wasn't trying. No gesture, no comment, no glance was ever neutral. And through it all, he kept swinging, chasing wins, carrying that chip on his shoulder that had followed him since college. Whether the crowds booed or cheered, he stayed locked in, ensuring the name Captain America was never forgotten by 2024. Reed's career resembled a high-octane film that refused to slow down. Lawsuits, media battles, and on-course controversies had become part of his brand. He continued competing in live events, occasionally mixing it up in majors, but everywhere he went. The same question followed. Was Patrick Reed misunderstood, or simply unapologetically himself? That year, his legal battles made more headlines. Several of his defamation claims were dismissed or withdrawn. Yet Reed refused to back down. New statements from his lawyers framed it as a fight against years of media bias and character attacks. To supporters, he was standing up for fairness. To critics, it was another attempt to control the narrative. Either way, the world was watching. On the course, Reed still had flashes of brilliance. At the Masters, he put together a strong run that reminded everyone why he was once feared inside the ropes. Every big shot carried a message. I'm still here. But even when he played well, reactions remained divided. Some fans applauded, others stayed silent, unsure how to feel about him. Then came a surprising twist. Reed began opening up in interviews, speaking about how criticism had affected him and how much the game still meant despite everything. Fans glimpsed a different side of person beyond the fiery chest bumps and glares. It didn't erase the past, but it humanized him. Yet controversy never strayed far. Slow play disputes, locker room disagreements, minor on-course incidents. Reed's name kept trending. By the end of 2024, one fact was clear. Patrick Reed wasn't fading. Whether viewed as golf's villain, a misunderstood competitor, or both, he remained one of the sport's most talked-about figures. Every swing, every quote, every rule call added another layer to a career that refused to quiet down. Then came the 2023 Dubai Desert Classic. Once again, the spotlight found him in a way no player wants. Reed hit a wild tee shot that disappeared into a cluster of towering palm trees. He insisted he had spotted his ball in one specific tree and took a drop directly below it. The fans, the cameras, the commentators, everyone held their breath. In true Patrick Reed fashion, what should have been a minor moment became a story that would be dissected, debated, and remembered. But then, video replays surfaced and they seemed to show the ball might have landed in a completely different tree. Technically, the ruling followed the rulebook, but fans weren't buying it. To them, it was Dacia vu, pattern they'd seen too many times before. Another confusing moment. Another benefit of the doubt. Another controversy with Patrick Reed right in the middle of it. Reed stood by his version, insisting he did everything by the book. Yet the golf world's reaction this time felt different. People weren't debating anymore. They were sighing, rolling their eyes, like they'd watched this movie too many times. So when you step back and look at Patrick Reed's career as a whole, what do you see? On one side, he's a Masters champion, a Ryder Cup warrior, and a 9-time PGA Tour winner. He's proven his skill, toughness, and ability to perform under the highest pressure. On the flip side, there's a long list of controversies, accusations of bending the rules, public family drama, lawsuits against media figures who criticized him. Some fans argue he's misunderstood, that he doesn't technically break rules, he just plays right up to the edge. Others say that's exactly the problem. Golf has always been a game built on honesty and respect. And Reed's career continues to test that line. When your name appears in headline after headline, Controversy after controversy. Eventually, the benefit of the doubt runs out. That's what makes Patrick Reed such a rare figure in modern sports, a player whose villain label feels oddly earned. Not because of one mistake, but because years of smoke convinced everyone there must be fire. If you found this story wild, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the Golf Hub, and turn on notifications so you never miss more untold stories like this. Behind every scorecard, there's always more drama. We're just getting started. We're just getting started.